Hello guys, it's me, Alchemy Chan, and today in this video, I'm going to actually predict the Nintendo Switch's lifespan, and see how long that the Nintendo Switch will actually last for until we can expect the next console after the Switch. And also, in addition, we're also going to compare the lifespans to previous Nintendo consoles, and in addition to how many units that each console has sold. So first of all, we're going to talk about the Nintendo Switch. Yes, so the Nintendo Switch is actually like one of the best-selling consoles out there. It was actually selling like hotcakes, right? So the Nintendo Switch actually came out on March 3rd, 2017, and as of June 30th, 2021, it actually sold a whopping 89.04 million Nintendo Switches worldwide. Holy crap, guys, that is a lot of Nintendo Switches being sold. In fact, it might even be the Wii in terms of sales, which we'll talk about that in just a moment, like after the Wii U. So if I were to predict how long the Nintendo Switch's lifespan will last for, now considering the fact that how long that the Nintendo Switch is selling, I'm going to predict that the Switch's lifespan will last until 2027, so that's like 10 years, and then maybe we can expect the next console after the Switch, like after 2027. Alright, now that we actually gone over the Nintendo Switch in terms of sales and how long lifespan will be, let's talk about the Wii U. Oh my god, guys, why am I not surprised that the Wii U actually failed? So yeah, due to the Wii U's failure, it only lasted for 5 years. So the Wii U was first released in November 18th, 2012, and then since then it was released in other regions. Yeah, so some people may have actually mistaken the Wii U as if it was like some sort of like tablet device, or if it's like an expansion of the Wii. Yeah, so many of us think that the Wii U might actually be an expansion of the Wii, like due to the Wii's performance selling pretty well. Like, yeah, the Wii U is pretty much like a failure. And if you want to know like how many units that the Wii U has sold worldwide, only 13.56 million units. Yeah, due to its failure, it had the shortest lifespan out of like all the other Nintendo consoles out there. And yeah, it only sold like 13.56 million units. That's pretty terrible for a console. It didn't actually sell pretty well, and I thought that Nintendo was about to accept the defeat that the Wii U actually failed, but then Nintendo didn't give up just yet. They released the Nintendo Switch after the Wii U's failure, and guess what, guys? The Nintendo Switch was selling like hotcakes. It became like one of the best-selling consoles out there. Now let's talk about the Wii. All right, the Wii. So yeah, the Wii is like one of the best-selling consoles out there according to this list. Probably one of the highest-selling consoles. You got the Wii remote and a nunchuck, and you can use the Wii remote for motion controls. Yeah, Nintendo is pretty creative on this kind of console. You see, yeah, you just swing your Wii remote around. You can use that as a pointer. So yeah, the Wii was first released in November 19th, 2006, and has then been released in other regions as well. Of course, there are some revisions for the Wii as well. But let's talk about the lifespan for the Wii. It lasted from 2006 to 2013. That is, well, if we're not talking about the other revisions of the Wii, such as the Family Edition and the Wii Mini, I'm talking about the original Wii. Yes, so how many Wiis were sold is 101 million point 60. I mean, it's 101.63 million units sold for the Wii as of September 30th. Like the drive's full lifespan before it was discontinued. Like, man, that is a lot of units sold. The Wii was pretty successful, however, but not for long, because the Nintendo Switch might actually beat the Wii in terms of sales someday. Alright, so let's talk about the Gamecube. So yeah, so the Gamecube launched in 2001, and I would say that it performed fine, I guess, but it only sold like 21.74 million units worldwide, which is not pretty terrible, I would say. And they said that the console was criticized for its exterior and lack of the designs. for its exterior design and lack of features. Well, I would say that the GameCube didn't perform too bad. It sold like 21.74 million units worldwide, which I would say pretty decent, I guess.
Serious?
Yeah, so the GameCube lasted from 2001 to 2007. Yeah, it was discontinued worldwide in 2007. So yeah, pretty decent for a console. I mean, I never actually had the GameCube before when I was actually a kid. I mean, like my very first console was the Wii, and like. Yeah, but when the Wii came out, I was actually a kid by then. But during the GameCube's lifespan, I was actually only like a baby at that time. And well, yeah, I wasn't actually introduced to video games until I was like 7. Well, I was actually introduced to the Wii. Okay, so let's talk about the N64. Also known as Nintendo 64. And yeah, this is the console that actually came out like before I was actually born. It came out in like 1996. Wow, that's a pretty old console. The N64. I never actually, I just like the GameCube. I never owned the N64. But hey, it would be pretty cool if I owned like every single console. I mean, what would I use the N64 for? Probably to play the original Super Smash Bros. Or Banjo-Kazooie. But anyway, so about the lifespan. Yes, it lasted for 6 years, just like the GameCube, and it was discontinued worldwide on April 30th, 2022. And how many units sold for the N64? 32.93 million. Not bad for a console for the N64, like the Wii U, which actually failed. Okay, so the N64 sold 32.93 million units worldwide. Not bad for a console, like I said. Alright, let's talk about the SNES, or should I say Super Nintendo Entertainment System. I'm just gonna call it SNES. So yeah, the SNES actually came out in 1990, and wow, did it actually last for a whopping 13 years. Its lifespan lasted from 1990 to 2003, and was discontinued in like what, 2003 worldwide. And how many units sold for the SNES is 49.1 million units. Pretty good for a console, I would say. It's actually a retro console, a 32-bit console, when compared to the NES, which is a 16-bit console. And not to mention that the NES, SNES, and N64 are actually coming to the Nintendo Switch Online. Well, we're still waiting for the N64 Switch Online for it to come out. Alright, now let's talk about the NES, where it all began. Probably the very first Nintendo console, that is, well, if we're not counting the color TV game series, we're talking about the Nintendo Entertainment System. And I'm gonna say that the NES was like the very first Nintendo console that was actually released. So let's talk about it. The NES is an 8-bit console, and it actually came out in 1995. We're not talking about the Famicom, we're talking about the NES. So the NES, it came out in 1985. So if we're not including the Famicom, it lasted for 10 years, from 1985 to 1995. And it was actually discontinued in 1995. And how many units sold for the NES is 61.91 million units worldwide. That's pretty much a lot for an NES. This is the console where it all began, and I'm not gonna include the color TV game series for this video. So now that we actually talked about the lifespans for the previous consoles and how many units sold, it's time to talk about when we can expect the next console after the Switch. So like, let's just say that the Switch will last until 2027, then they might actually make another console after the Switch. I don't know what's gonna happen with the next console. Is it gonna be more like a hybrid console like the Nintendo Switch, or is it gonna be like a home console? So as we all know, the Nintendo Switch now uses game cards instead of discs when compared to like the previous three consoles. I can kind of imagine that the next console is gonna be called like the Nintendo Go, and it might be like a hybrid console like the Switch. And I think it might actually include discs or game cards, and I believe that console will be backwards compatible compatible with the Nintendo Switch, and you can play Switch games on that console. So I'm gonna actually call it the Nintendo Go. And I believe that's it for this video. If you have any comments or questions, just leave a comment on this video, and also be sure to like this video if you like this topic, and make sure to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, guys.